Hi, I'm Leigh-Anne Marshall, and this is my leadership book review for N5343. The book I chose was First In, Last Out, Leadership Lessons from the New York Fire Department by John Salka. Mr. Salka has been a firefighter for over 30 years, having retired as a battalion chief. He was also one of the premier leaders in the New York Fire Department, as well as a teacher at the Training Academy. Most notably, he is a nationally recognized lecturer for his 5-alarm leadership series. He's also an author of several books. Mr. Salka went about writing this book to ask the question, why would you follow someone into a burning building? What leadership skills must that person possess in order to inspire such a following? So really the purpose was to teach leadership in a straightforward manner and offer practical leadership insights for the frontline manager up to the CEO. He wanted the reader to examine their own beliefs, values, and goals as a leader, and most importantly, inspire the reader to continue on their own leadership journey. Now, most leadership books are written for CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. That's not the case with this book. It is written for leaders at all levels, for all walks of life. It is for the nurse in Jupiter, Florida, or the fire battalion chief in the Bronx. It is not only for the novice, but for the expert leader. And it's for anyone who wants to further their leadership skills and techniques. Mr. Salka spoke of 3 guiding commitments for a leader. First of all, to follow the smoke, which is uncovering the reality and know what's really going on as a leader. Finding the smoke, which involves gathering and processing all the information and data in order to make the best decisions. And the third commitment was to your people. Treat them like assets, for they're the people who will support you. As far as the strengths of the books, the techniques written relate to any situation given business, healthcare, or politics. It applies to leaders at all levels. It is written from the perspective of the frontline leader. Key issues covered are commitment, communication, innovation, inspiration, and relationship building. For example, he speaks of relationship building as an important aspect of leadership. For example, visiting fire stations to get to know your employees. This is similar to nurse leaders making their rounds on their employees. He speaks of communication, for example, a firefighter using a two-way radio, and how important it is to keep the line of communication open with clear, concise information. This is similar to how nurses give bedside report and exchanging valuable information about their patients. He also speaks of innovation. For example, during 9/11, there was a great deal of broken equipment that impeded communication. He spoke of how a captain in one of the battalions created a booster from spare parts around the department to make a prototype for a booster that is still used today. Nurses can be inspired to create their own innovation at the bedside. The strengths continued are, the book is easy to read, it's about 200 pages, it's extremely relatable, it captures and sustains interest. Also, the applied leadership techniques, he applies the leadership techniques to practical stories of firefighting. For example, the historical events such as 9/11, the Great Fire of 1835, and how leadership changed those days. At the end of each chapter, he has a 1-page summary where he highlights key issues. As far as shortcomings, when you see this particular book in a bookstore, you might not recognize it as a leadership book, for most leadership books are pretty dull looking. Most people might pass it by and not realize how valuable the information is. The only issue is that this book is written by a firefighter and not someone with a PhD, so some people might question the value of the information. I, however, feel that Mr. Salka cultivated and developed his leadership skills throughout the year, and this book is a value to anyone wanting to learn about leadership. The ideas within the book are not new, but I think they are presented with a new twist. If you're not a person who likes firefighting analogies, this is not the book for you. I do believe Mr. Salka achieved his objectives. This is a bestseller, and it does offer practical insights on leadership. It's inspiring, thought-provoking, and motivational. He provided straightforward information that could be applied to any leadership situation. As far as recommendation as to who should read this book, I believe anyone in the service industry, such as healthcare, fire, or police, could relate to this book greatly. Anyone who's interested about learning about leadership, especially key issues as motivation, inspiration, trust, and relationship building, as well as team and team outcomes. I believe anyone that is a novice or an expert can enjoy this book, and especially anyone that has an interest in fire history. In conclusion, Mr. Salka states, "We don't stand behind our people or put ourselves above them. We lead out front where everyone can see us. We are the first in, we are the last out," and that's how he describes his leadership. Thank you.